sacrificial reasons. That's why they did not kill the sheep and the oxen. It wasn't enough that he did not follow Yahweh's orders, but let's lie to make what was done seem like it was for righteous reasons.
And Samuel said, "Hath Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahweh? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he hath also rejected thee from being king." And Saul said unto Samuel, "I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandments of Yahweh and thy words, because I feared the people, and I obeyed their voice." 1 Samuel chapter 15, verses 22 through 24.
Saul lost his kingship all because he decided not to follow the instructions given to him by Yahweh. Instead, he did what he wanted to do, or as he put it, he feared the people, so he listened to their voice. Man, did he make the wrong decision on who he should have feared.
These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with Elohim. Genesis chapter 6, verse 9.
The scriptures state that Noah walked with Elohim. What a great honor and blessing this must be to be able to walk with Yahweh. But do we understand how Noah was able to do this? During a time of great wickedness, Noah remained perfect and just, according to the ways of Yahweh. While everybody else was following the ways of their own imaginations, Noah and his family held on to the ways of righteousness because they knew who was in command. In all honesty, how many of us would have built an ark if we were instructed to do so by Yahweh, if we could not see any signs of the storm to come? Most of today's people will not even heed the warnings given to them by the weather people on TV or by government officials when told to evacuate. And these are normal people who they can actually see and possibly touch in the flesh, much less to hearken to the voice and words of someone they cannot see. Here is a perfect example of such disobedience, taken from an article on shortnews.com. Hurricane Ike of September 2008, 100,000 tried to ride out the storm despite warnings of certain death. Authorities were mobilizing a search of survivors among more than 100,000 people who were living along the Texas Gulf Coast who tried to ride out the storm, despite being warned that failure to evacuate would mean certain death. A spokesman for Governor Rick Perry said, "The unfortunate truth is we're going to have to go in and put our people in the tough situation to save people who did not choose wisely. We'll probably do the largest search and rescue in Texas history." Noah was not the only man that walked with Yahweh. There was also a man by the name of Enoch that walked with Yahweh. But of these great men who were able to walk with Yahweh, once again, doing as they were commanded and walking in the path of righteousness, Enoch received the greatest gift of all. According to Scripture, Enoch did not see death.
And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with Elohim, and he was not, for Elohim took him. Genesis chapter 5, verses 23 and 24.
The rewards of knowing your position and knowing who is truly in command, the pilot versus the co-pilot, was a true blessing to Enoch and Noah as well. For Noah, being able to walk with Yahweh should not have been anything strange, seeing that Enoch was his great-grandfather, and this type of obedience should have been passed on from generation to generation. So the question comes to mind, when did man start to think that he is so great that Yahweh became the co-pilot and man became the pilot? Let's see if we can solve this.
And Yahweh, Elohim, commanded the man, saying, "Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest therefore shalt thou surely die." Genesis chapter 2, verse 16 and 17.
These are the instructions Yahweh gave to Adam, the first man he created. But wait, let's see where this story goes. Let's pick this up sometime after Eve, the first woman, was created for Adam.
And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for Yahweh doth know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Genesis chapter 3, verse 4 and 5.
Notice that the serpent told the woman that once they ate of the fruit, that they would be as gods. So if that was the driving force for eating the fruit, being God-like that is, maybe that desire is still embedded somewhere in man's psyche.
And Yahweh Elohim said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever. Genesis chapter 3, verse 22.
Even Yahweh himself compared man as being like a god after he ate of the fruit and gained the knowledge of good and evil. Is this where man attributes his arrogance from? So much so that he wants to place himself in charge as being the pilot and Yahweh is the co-pilot, hence taking away Yahweh's control. Keep one thing in mind when you get beside yourself.
There is none holy as Yahweh, for there is none beside thee. Neither is there any rock like our Elohim. Talk no more exceedingly proud. Let no arrogancy come out of your mouth. For Yahweh is a Elohim of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. The bows of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumble are girded with strength. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verses 2 through 4. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, this has been another episode of Entering the Veil. Shalom.